Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another book review. It has been a really long time since I did a book review, and well, this one has been in my head for a couple years. The first time, a little bit of background is the book I'm doing is Limitless Mind by Russelltarg. So the thing is I did a lot of fucking research on this guy. I listened a lot to what he had to say because a couple years ago when I was working at a food truck or at a cafe, all I would do is just paint and draw and listen to music, and that was my thing. That's how So one morning I woke up early, and then in my recommendations was a band TED Talk by Russelltarg, and it was about psychic things, and that was the first time I've ever heard of anything psychic officially of saying categorically this exists, we have evidence. And I was just like blown away. So I just did all the research on this guy, Russelltarg, all of the videos, all the talks, and it's a nice old man. Uh, and eventually I bought his book, and I went to Mexico, and then I read the book, and I didn't choose a different path. I've still been doing the research, but I just don't do the research exclusively through him for the reason that he's biased. So sorry about the convoluted story, not really involving the book, but my experience with it. But I read this, and it's so fucking confusing. Like, it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be in layman's terms. It's supposed to at least be comprehensible, but to me it's not coherent. It's not a coherent book on um, psychicness, on the abilities of the bioenergetic human body. And it says a guide to remote viewing and transformation of consciousness. It's not a guide, okay? It's not a fucking guide. The whole book is just, this is possible. This is the evidence. That's it. It's just, this is possible. I have proof. Here, I have proof. And at the end of the book, the prologue or the end of it is just so, it's like he makes it sound like he's on a fucking like on a reading rainbow chariot going through the sky, like, I invite you to join me on psychic adventures. It's like, that's not how this shit works at all. I wish it was. I wish I could just get onto that train and then boom, I'm automatically psychic. We all have these abilities innate within ourselves, but the point being is that this isn't accurate. This isn't what you need to know. This doesn't have the information that you seek if you seek information on a truly limitless mind. This is just a diversion, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, because he worked for the CIA for 20 years, and you either work for them. They say you never quit the CIA, and obviously that's not true. People retire, but are there ulterior motives in this individual's thing? Yeah, obviously. And he's a part of parapsychology, parapsychological studies, which is like a fringe science. We look at it like a fringe science. And so, like, his reality box is bent towards that. He thinks that's the only way to prove this shit. And another thing, a big red flag, is that he doesn't mention Ingo Swann at all. He doesn't mention him at all in this book. And he is an integral part of psychicness, of true human abilities coming to the forefront of the American mind, because he is the person who taught the government how to do the researches. And he's not even mentioned at all. So I have to assume that something happened between them for him to omit him completely from history. And I even went to parapsychologically parapsychological conference in Vegas, and it did not feel open. It just felt like a whole bunch of closed-minded science people who think they're fucking superhuman because they could do these things. They don't actually have hard facts or research. So my review of Limitless Mind by Russelltarg is, don't fucking buy it. Save your money. Spend your money on something better, like Ingo Swann books. Literally any Ingo Swann book will teach you more than this entire fucking piece of shit book. I don't trust it at all. It was a waste of money. I even tried to make other people read it, but it was like they couldn't even get through it because it's so confusing. It's so convoluted. The whole book is just analogies of what he's trying to say. He doesn't. It's so all over the place. It's so disorganized. It's like if I tried to write a book about psychic shit. That's what this would. If I tried to write it when all I was doing was acid. Like, so it's the ramblings of an old man, essentially. I don't trust it. Books I would recommend if you are seeking knowledge is Everybody's Guide to ESP by Ingo Swann, Your Nostradamus Factor by Ingo Swann, and Psychic Literacy by Ingo Swann that just got released in 2018. So those are my recommendations. This is my review. If you like the review, like, subscribe, share, do whatever you want. Sorry for the messy ass room, but I just felt like I had to make this video. It was bugging me. Like, I read it a couple years ago, but it's been bugging me because the more I do research, the more I think back on this book, and I'm like, it's bullshit. So just go with an open mind and trust your senses in every endeavor, because that is all we have at the end of the day. We are a world starving for wisdom, but we're just drowning in knowledge. So use your senses wisely and listen to your senses. So yeah, that was my review. More to come. I will maybe try to read Psychic Sexuality more if I have the good grace of having good audio. So yeah, thanks for watching.